Hello friends, we will be discussing some more important pediatric MCQ based questions in this session. So let's start. A 3-year-old child presented with sudden onset severe paradoxical colicky abdomen pain and red currant jelly stools. His Bere minima is shown below. What is the diagnosis? This is a pictorial image of Bere minima of that child, and the options are option A, intussusception, option B, ulcerative colitis, option C, Crohn's disease, and option D, Hirschsprung disease. So coming to the question, the patient here or the child here presents with sudden onset severe colicky abdomen pain and the red currant jelly stools. His Bere minima is shown below. What does the Bere minima show? Bere minima is showing a claw sign. This is a claw sign. This is very significant, the claw sign, and which we all know it is a diagnosis of, and claw sign is seen in intussusception. Okay, so it is intussusception. What is intussusception? When a portion of the alimentary canal or alimentary tract invaginates into its adjacent segment. When a portion of the alimentary tract invaginates into its adjacent segment, we call it as intussusception, and it is characterized by severe colicky abdomen pain with episodes of crying. Vomiting is also seen in some cases. In ultrasound, one sign can also be seen, what we call as a target sign. Ultrasound, we see a target sign. Ultrasound, we see a target sign, and management is there is immediate and the management is immediate reduction in cases of acute intussusception. But if there are signs of shock or perforation is there, then we'll have to go for urgent laparotomy. This point has also been asked in various MCQs, that if treatment basically the treatment is immediate reduction, but if signs of shock or intestinal perforation, then it needs laparotomy, urgent laparotomy. Then we'll have to do urgent laparotomy. So the answer here is intussusception. Severe onset colicky abdomen pain, red currant jelly stool, Bere minima showing claw sign, which is diagnostic of intussusception. So diagnosis is intussusception, and the ultrasound we see a target appearance or the target sign, and the treatment immediate reduction. If signs of shock or intestinal perforation are present, we'll go for urgent laparotomy. Next question. A 1-year-old girl presents with fever since 24 hours and off and on coughing. She is passing foul-smelling bulky stools and had frequent episodes of bronchitis in the past. The girl is suspected of having option A, cystic fibrosis, option B, maple syrup urine disease, option C, phenylketonuria, and option D, galactosemia. So the question here is, a female child with fever since 24 hours and off and on coughing. Foul smelling bulky stools, that is, features of malabsorption are present, and frequent episodes of bronchitis in the past. One, it points towards malabsorption, and second, recurrent episodes of respiratory infection. Recurrent episodes of respiratory infection, and also one very important clue, cough off and on. So with malabsorption, recurrent episodes, and off and on coughing, one possibility, cystic fibrosis. So that is the answer. Cystic fibrosis is the answer. Cystic fibrosis is autosomal recessive. It is autosomal recessive, and the gene is located on the chromosome 7. Chromosome 7, and the mutation is delta 508, and the cystic fibrosis transmembrane regulator, the gene, the mutation, it affects the cystic fibrosis transmembrane regulator protein, and because of that there is recurrent respiratory tract infections. The cystic fibrosis transmembrane regulator gene, the delta 508 mutation affects the cystic fibrosis transmembrane regulator protein. As a result, the cystic fibrosis epithelial cells in the respiratory tract, they are unable to secrete the chloride ions, which leads to excessive sodium and water reabsorption. Leads to excessive sodium and water reabsorption, so leading to recurrent episodes of respiratory tract infection, off and on cough, and also the malabsorption present. So the diagnosis here is cystic fibrosis. Next question is, earliest indication of sexual maturity in a girl is, or sexual maturation in a girl is, A. menarche, B. pubarche, C. thylarche, and D. growth spurt. So in females, order of attainment of puberty are, first we have thylarche, that is the first visible sign. Then we have pubarche, then we have growth spurt, and then we have menarche. Okay. So this is the first visible sign, and the growth spurt is in stage 3. So after pubarche, the growth spurt is after pubarche and before menarche, and the first visible sign of earliest indication is thylarche in girls. In males, it is also been done, so we will discuss what is the attainment of puberty, what are the stages of puberty in males. First is testicular enlargement. It is the first sign. It is the first sign, testicular enlargement. Then we have penile enlargement. Then we have pubic hair growth. Then we have growth spurt here. Then axillary hair. And the facial hair. Last is facial hair. So this is the stages of puberty in males, starting from testicular enlargement, which is the first sign, then penile enlargement, pubic hair growth, the growth spurt, axillary hair, and the facial hair. One more MCQ point here I am giving you is the testicular volume, which is measured by the orchidometer. This is an orchidometer. This can be an image-based question also in the future exams, and this is known as orchidometer. And what is the function? It helps in measuring the testicular volume. Orchidometer helps in measuring the testicular volume. So this is orchidometer. Next question. A 2-year-old child presents to pediatric casualty with irritability, restlessness, severe respiratory distress, and cyanosis. Mother gives history of vigorous crying few years back. On auscultation, there is a short systolic murmur and a soft second heart sound are heard in left, third, and fourth parasternal space. Urgent X-ray was done, which is shown below. What is the diagnosis? This is the X-ray of the child. Tricuspid atresia, transposition of great arteries, tetralogy of Fallot, and total anomalous pulmonary venous return. So coming to the question here, the child presents with irritability and restlessness, severe respiratory distress, and cyanosis. Okay? And cyanosis. Crying episodes are present few hours back. A short systolic murmur is heard and a soft second heart sound are heard in the left, third, and fourth parasternal space. And the X-ray. X-ray is the pointer. X-ray. So the X-ray here is the pointer here. What does the X-ray show? X-ray is showing a boot-shaped heart. A boot-shaped heart. X-ray is showing a boot-shaped heart. There is cardiac apex elevation. The cardiac apex is elevated because of right ventricular hypertrophy. Right ventricular hypertrophy. So this is a boot-shaped heart which is seen in tetralogy of Fallot. And the patient here and the baby here and the child here presented in cyanotic spell. The patient here is presented in the cyanotic spell. So we have got our answer, tetralogy of Fallot. Tetralogy of Fallot, what are the constituents? We should all remember the constituents of a tetralogy of Fallot. It can be asked in MCQ. Large, unrestrictive, ventricular septal defect, that is large unrestricted ventricular septal defect is present. Then we have infundibular PS, infundibular pulmonary stenosis. Then we have override of aorta and right ventricular hypertrophy. These are each constituents of TOF, and the patient here is presented in the cyanotic spell because there is history of crying, short systolic murmur, and a soft second heart sound heard in second, left, and third parasternal space, and there is also irritability, restlessness, and severe respiratory distress. So the answer is tetralogy of Fallot, with the constituent being large unrestricted ventricular septal defect, infundibular pulmonary stenosis, overriding the aorta, and the right ventricular hypertrophy. So the answer we have already discussed, tetralogy of Fallot is there. Now certain other chest X-rays which can be asked in image-based questions for you are agonized appearance seen in transposition of the gate arteries, narrow pedicle. Narrow pedicle is there, and the heart gives like the shape of an egg. So egg on side, or sometimes also known as egg on string. So this is seen in TGA, and the other very important is TAPVC, figure of 8, or the snowman appearance. It gives a feature of figure of 8 or snowman appearance. Most common TAPVC is supracardiac. It is seen in supracardiac TAPVC. Most commonly the TAPVC, And which TAPVC? The supracardiac TAPVC, the figure of 8 or the snowman appearance. The next question. A 3-month baby with wide open posterior fontanelle with large tongue with rough dry skin. His picture is shown below. What is the diagnosis? Large tongue and umbilical hernia, abdominal distension, rough dry skin. Points to the diagnosis of congenital hypothyroidism. Points to the diagnosis of congenital hypothyroidism. Next question. Febrile seizure is called as complex when it lasts for more than 5 minutes, more than 10 minutes, more than 15 minutes, and more than 20 minutes. So, febrile seizure, the question is asking what are complex febrile seizures? Complex febrile seizures. The complex febrile seizures are focal. They last more than 15 minutes and multiple episodes can be seen. We can see multiple episodes in 24 hours. Multiple episodes in 24 hours. So the answer is complex febrile seizures more than 15 minutes. Simple febrile seizures, they are generalized tonic-clonic seizures, last less than 15 minutes, and in 24 hours single episode is present. 24 hours single episode is present. What are the risk factors for development of epilepsy? It has been also asked in MCQs. In febrile seizures, what are risk factors for development of future epilepsy? So the answer is febrile seizure complex more than 15 minutes. Next question. A 6-year-old child presents with fever for 7 days along with conjunctivitis, rash over palms and soles, red tongue, and cervical lymphadenopathy. Picture of his tongue is shown below. What is the diagnosis? It is a picture of the tongue, pictorial image of his tongue. A. Scarlet fever. B. Kawasaki disease. C. Enos-Schonlein purpura. Or D. Bacterial conjunctivitis. So if we look at the question here, 6-year-old child, fever for 7 days, that is more than 5 days, along with conjunctivitis, rash over palms and soles, red tongue, strawberry tongue. Okay, this is strawberry tongue and cervical lymphadenopathy. And cervical lymphadenopathy, what is the diagnosis? More than 5 days fever with minor criteria or other criteria, conjunctivitis, rash, palms and soles, red tongue, cervical lymphadenopathy, Kawasaki disease. Okay, Kawasaki disease. Next question. Bidextrous grasp is seen at what age? A. 4 months, B. 5 months, C. 6 months, and D. 7 months. Bidextrous grasp is seen at 5 months of age. Bidextrous grasp is seen at 5 months of age. The answer is 5 months. The next question. Breast milk storage in a refrigerator is up to A. 4 hours, B. 8 hours, C. 12 hours, and D. 24 hours. So question is asking the how much time we can store a breast milk in refrigerator, and the answer is 24 hours. Answer is 24 hours. So breast milk can be stored in a refrigerator up to 24 hours. What are the guidelines for storing of expressed breast milk? Expressed breast milk can be stored. Expressed breast milk can be stored at room temperature for 8 to 10 hours. Room temperature for 8 to 10 hours. Refrigerator 24 hours, we have already discussed. Refrigerator 24 hours, and in deep freezer, that is at minus 20 degrees Celsius for almost 3 months. Deep freezer at minus 20 degrees Celsius for 3 months. So this is the guidelines for storing of expressed breast milk. Room temperature 8 to 10 hours, refrigerator 24 hours, and the deep freezer, that is at minus 20 degrees Celsius for 3 months. Breast milk can be stored. So the answer is 24 hours. Again, a image based question. A 3-week baby presents with noisy breathing, which worsens on crying and feeding, while improves when the baby is made to lie in prone position. Laryngoscopy shows the following picture. We have a picture of the laryngoscopy of the baby. What is the diagnosis? A. Laryngomalacia. B. choanal C. epiglottitis. And D. vocal cord papilloma. So the question is asking, a 3-week baby presents with noisy breathing, worsens on crying and feeding, and which improves when the baby is made to lie in prone position. Laryngoscopy shows the following picture. What is the laryngoscopy showing here? It is an omega shaped epiglottis. It is an omega shaped epiglottis, and any child which presents with noisy breathing, which increases, the noisy breathing of the stridor increases on crying and feeding, and which decreases in the prone posture, it is nothing but laryngomalacia. It is nothing but laryngomalacia. It is nothing but laryngomalacia. So the answer here is laryngomalacia, which stridor which worsens on increases in crying and feeding, and decreases in the prone position, and with omega shaped epiglottis. The answer is laryngomalacia. There's also one image based MCQ point for you for epiglottis. This is a very red epiglottis. We call it as cherry red epiglottis. Cherry red epiglottis. It can be also asked in your MCQs. Cherry red epiglottis, and it is seen in epiglottitis. It is seen in acute epiglottitis. It is seen in acute epiglottitis. It is also an MCQ. It is seen in acute epiglottitis, the cherry red epiglottis. Look how the epiglottis is inflamed, it is swollen. It is a cherry red epiglottis and acute epiglottitis. Thank you.